When I was a young man traveling in Africa, I tried to hitchhike through the Sahara Desert to reach Timbuktu. I never made it.
I don't think he likes me as a driver. Keep going. Come on. Come on. Let's go. That's good. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Come on.
I was on a quest to find the great black beat poet Ted Joans, who spent half the year in Timbuktu. Ted died, but dreams, like poems, never die. 30 years later, I'm on a boat up the Niger River to the fabled city, but it's also a journey into the languages and culture of West Africa. This time I'm traveling with my friend, the Griot Karamo Susso, who helped record the voyage in song and poetry. Language is the essence of humanity, but half the languages on Earth will disappear this century. This is our last chance to connect with the sounds and tastes and wisdom of these people in their own languages. I'm Bob Holman, adventurer for the word, and we're going on the road.
Kanakasi fantandena kasimani ima kundeo fama dinge.
Back on the boat with Karamo, I think of how this whole thing started through his father, Alhaji Papa Susso. Papa's a renowned griot in the Gambia and a dear friend, and he's been trying to get me to visit him for years. By this point, I'm hoping you're asking yourself, well, what is a griot? Well, listen, griots are the keepers of the West African oral tradition. They're poets, musicians, historians, genealogists, combined Joseph Campbell, Bob Dylan, Studs Terkel, and the County Hall of Birth Records, and you've got a griot. Griots are so respected they even appear on national television.
I don't think so. I think I want to get...
I met up with Papa in Dakar, and first things first, decided to get a haircut.
Can you take like this? Just think that much? Yeah.
Papa strummed some tunes. I read some poems by Leopold Senghor, the George Washington of Senegal.
With Senghor, he thought of the woman as being Africa, as being the motherland, the motherland. Very nice. Okay. Very nice. Thank you.
I was excited to show off my nouveau hairstyle on my first occasion entering Papa's compound in Banjul to meet his wives and relatives. Papa's brother was on hand as the griot in residence. You've got to have a griot to make any event official. Women singers, Umu Sangre, Kanja Kuyate, are an important part of griot tradition. Women also formed their own street theater groups to satirize local politics. We instantly hit it off when I showed them my Barack Obama t-shirt. Karamo and I made a hajj to a calabash field. These huge gourds make the body of the kora, the essence of the song.
Do you hear that?
I hear something. What is it that I hear? The kora always always sounds like it's accompanying itself. It's the bass, boom, boom. And it's the melody. And sometimes it's even. We visited Papa's hometown village, Sotomaseri. The kora is playing, the children are playing. The kora is the essential instrument of Mandinka griots. It takes 5 days for Papa's nephew to make a kora. Each handle is designed differently, carved by hand and foot. Here's the calabash that Karamo and I found. Sliced in half with a machete, the skin is a cowhide buried for 2 days in lime, scraped, kept wet and pliant. The calabash is centered on the skin, and the craftsman cuts it to size, freehand. There's an old saying, wet cowhide attracts sand, but no one says it because it brings bad luck. Then it's stretched tight over the calabash, rosewood neck and handles are pushed through, and simple fishing line is used for the 21 strings. At last, what I was waiting for, Papa sharing an ancient griot secret.
Dad, do you want to tell him something about it? Yeah.
Well, this is the room where kora was given to Korea Musa, my great-great-grandfather.
Okay.
By a devil.
Whoa.
Devil man. So if you take the kora, you alone in the room, playing the kora, soft, you will see a jinn.
That remember me something.
They love the kora very much.
I was afraid that the jinn would show up, but what happened was that Papa used this sacred space to do what griots have done for over 900 years. He passed his kora over to his son, Karamo. In days of yore, griots were singers for kings and queens, and now they get by as taxi drivers.
The city is back that way. Okay, we'll keep going now, then we'll turn around after.
All right, okay.
So let's start with the song.
Okay, so
Aye, aye, ah, que le ife, ya mi tale ya faga, que le mandi jitola, que le buri baga jute, que le tojo man fola. Papa geri fa geri bemba.
Although Amadou was a better griot than driver, he did deliver us safely and soundly to our next destination, the home of Mr. Dembo Bojang, the representative to Parliament of Papa's hometown village, and who owed his political success to an ancient griot tale. So there's some remarkable stories about the powers of the crocodiles, and some of the people even talk about you as being connected with some of those powers.
Of course.
How does that? Can you talk a little about that?
Of course. Because you know, the crocodiles that we have here does not eat human flesh.
What Mr. Dembo reveals is that every re-election, he visits the Kathakali sacred crocodile pond to try to see the albino crocodiles.
Anybody. You know, they're spiritual, you know, and they have blessings too.
People ask the crocodile's blessings to get well, to get rich, to get pregnant, to get re-elected.
this one.
The prayers are often answered. But if you see the albino crocodile, who only appears on Mondays and Fridays between the hours of 4 and 6 a.m., your wish is guaranteed. And this is where Dembo Bojang's power comes into play, because he's never missed a visitation and is the longest-serving member of the Gambian Parliament, with the white crocodile as his talisman and contemporary griot praise poems as his election theme song. Djenné, the World Heritage Site of the Great Mosque, made completely of mud, which needs to be rebuilt every year. The connection of griots with Islam is deep. It's believed that Muhammad, on his first trip through Africa, ordained the first griot, Sorikata bin Jafra, whose vocal expertise drew crowds to hear the teachings of the Prophet. It's Monday, market day in Jene, the internationally renowned gathering of tribes, Fulanis, Songhai, Bozo, and others, and goods from all over. That's real gold of Jene. Pele pele, the peppers. Up on the roof, we run into a father and son hunter griot team. Their art includes dancing while playing the symbion, or hunter's kora, which has 6 strings and percussive shakers. Their job? To wander through the towns singing songs of welcome to all in this crossroads of Central Africa. Our hunter griot friends say goodbye to us on the banks of the Niger, which turns into the bustling port of Mopti just a few k's away. This is where we'll launch the next leg of our journey. Now we're going to try to find Ted Joans up in Timbuktu, great American poet who was a spiritual father to me. Am I allowed to say spiritual father on television? I don't know. Is this the TV or is this the movies? Remind me again. Anyway, what we've got here is a pinnace, one of the most beautiful boats ever created. And we're going to take a trip for a few days down the river. Keeps going on and Jene Mopti Laktabu Nia Funke Hey Timbuktu. Big river gets bigger. Did we forget to hire a captain here? Are we going to have to row this ourselves? Oh, brother. Peut-être dans mon lit. Merci. Comment s'appelle?
Soselem.
Soselem? After we make our arrangements with the captain, we're on our way to Timbuktu and beyond. We lay in the essential stores. Don't forget the cola nuts, gasoline, cooking oil, baling pails, camera gear and hard drives, ballpoint pens and paper for poems, toilet paper, and one of my personal favorites, Ousmane Sembéné's novel, God's Pieces of Wood, the story of the Dakar-Bamako railway strike that was the beginning of the end for French colonialism. The Niger River, Jaliba, Great River in Manding. Yoruba has it as Oya, the river goddess herself, and a nomadic Tuareg, Niger, the Niger. But for all West Africans, it's the source of life for food, travel, cleansing, commerce. There's a sense of drama to the Niger as it plummets straight into the Sahara. Villages dot the river, Fulani herdsmen, Bozo fishermen, Sangay farmers. We stop at one, Sayanosa, a village infused with the mystique of the golden earrings. This is a griot song of beauty, being the replication of the sound of waves of the river with the waves of sand. Made in gold, a mirror to the bride. We end up at a compound where our guide promises the earrings reside. So as you can see, we just struck a bargain here with the second wife at Sayanosa. Sayanosa is a beautiful village. We'd passed by a great mosque. It's the same kind of architecture as in Jene, but it's just a little smaller. As a matter of fact, the village, which seems like such a tiny little oasis from the road, is actually half the size of Jene. There's 6,000 people who live here. And we've discovered, amidst the entire population of this compound, lots of great energy going on here, that the earrings repose in this room. So, we can hear the suitcase being opened right now. I'm not giving any hints to what else or how to find this place. You have to talk to Albert if you're going to find this place. But as soon as what's his second wife goes, what's her name? The name of the second wife?
I think it's better when you
Okay.
come.
Okay. All right. We'll do
his
that.
name or what.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Look the president.
Oh my goodness! Wow! Fantastic. Now, is it true that there's something that goes there's something goes across the head, or these just stay on their own? They stay on their own. But what is your name?
Khadija Tambura.
Khadija Tambura.
Khadija.
Tambura.
Tambura.
Seyanosa.
Seyanosa Mali.
Mali. Seyanosa.
Seyanosa Mali.
Khadija Tambura.
You are so beautiful. Tu es si belle. Oui, oui, Tamara. Here's a rough translation of the Griot poem of the gold earrings. Add a sweet note to the saddest music. Build the road by walking. River waves, sand waves, gold earrings. Pray for the river rising. The end, completeness so complete. Once upon a place. Can you hear it? The origins of language. It's very difficult in our literate culture to grasp the role, the importance of the griot in West Africa. It's a different consciousness. Griots represent something inexplicable yet essential. The keepers of history, epic genealogy. The griot sings culture into existence.
It's a very important place, very beautiful place, because it's one of our historical places.
Oh, yes.
So when you come here, you have to take one of the stones here, or go look for a stone and place it on top of here. So it is kind of like...
Perfect.
It's a burial ground for queens, but also a sacred place. Yes.
Those were the days before there were days. So there was only night. And the rocks were people. That's right. And the rocks thought. And the rocks thought. And the thinking rocks were thinking if only they could walk. That's what they were thinking. The whole time they were thinking. They were wanting to walk so bad. They wanted to walk so bad that they started to talk. And that was the beginning of language. It was what the rocks thought. It was what the rocks thought up. It was what the rocks thought up when they couldn't walk. We made another landing at a Tuareg village.
Hello, anybody home? Knock, knock.
Kang kang.
These desert people are always on the move.
Wow. It's a deserted village. It's like my memory.
Yeah.
It's deserted me.
Okay.
If you should see a man walking down a crowded street, talking aloud to himself, don't run in the opposite direction, but run toward him. For he is a poet, and you have nothing to fear from the poet but the truth. That was Ted Jones' signature poem, a first-rate jazz poet who hung with John Coltrane and coined the phrase, "Bird lives," when Charlie Parker died. He was my mentor right up till he died in 2003. The outsider's outsider who went to the end of the world to find his African roots and seek solitude for his poetry. Back in the day, he invited me to his home in Timbuktu, but I was too busy being in my 20s to get a visa, so when I arrived in the middle of the Sahara, I spent the night in jail and was sent back. Life in the Panas settles into its own rhythms. Catch of the day, the Capitan, commonly found here in Lake Dabo. What can I say? Well, it's delicious. yum, yum, yummity yum. And every day, we'd pack up our movable hotel. And often we'd roll right up to our river neighbors. The Niger is a river through time. Here are the roots of hip-hop, gospel, and jazz. It's in the Griot tradition that the blues began and then returned to the electric guitars of musicians like Farka, Toure, and his son Vieux, who lived just right upriver. The natural sounds, music, and poetry you hear in Africa gave birth to the great musical forms of the U.S. Being here, you realize that the oral tradition resists being written down because it can't be. It's a living thing, mouth to ear, person to person, generation to generation. Next stop, Niafunke, hometown village of the king of the African blues, the late Farka Toure. We stop at the only stop sign in town, where we try to evoke Farka Toure's spirit and hopefully conjure up his son Vieux for a jam session with Karamo. The spirit of Farka Toure, please be with us today. All right, my friend, you say there's no getaway from the getaway. If only Vieux was here in town.
I hope.
Do you think the kids know if he's here? Hey.
Awa Alfarka doa. Aba don kosobe kosobe. Adin dum via wadon. Abea. Uba atramara. Abora. They say that they know him, they know Farka, they know Vieux, but they think maybe Vieux is out of the town.
Could be in Bamako.
Exactly.
Okay, let's. You ready to head off to the garage? Here we go. Oh, Farka Toure. Wish we could see you here at your getaway from the getaway. We ask for directions at his personal garage, which leads us to his home and his brother-in-law.
Welcome. Bienvenue. Merci bien. Vieux est à Bamako.
Oui, il est à Bamako, mais il était là au festival, puisque c'était même moi qui étais l'animateur.
Too bad Vieux wasn't there, but we were invited in for tea.
Oui. De le pays de Barack Obama.
Le pays de Barack Obama.
Oui.
Again, Barack Obama brings us together, and Amadou promises to call Vieux to tell him to expect us in Bamako on our way back. Ah, yes. What else? The obligatory sunset shot. After 3 days on the river, we've reached the end of our journey.
You are going to Timbuktu.
You are come to the middle of nowhere.
Arriving in Timbuktu, it's nothing like I thought it would be. Instead of a shimmering Sahara city of mystery, I find a dusty desert town. I start my search for people who knew Ted Joans and find his former guide, Saba Sidibe.
This man,
Yeah.
it is a friend from Ted Joans.
And his former landlord, Abdullah Tiambe.
Can I see your? You have your identity?
I am the planter of the trees in the desert.
Oh, let me.
Yeah.
That's what Ted
Ted
wrote
Jones
about you.
said-
There it is, planter d'arbres.
Oh,
Don't
sweet.
forget Ted Jones, because the first man of America for my friend is Ted Jones. Because he is a writer,
Yeah.
and he's a clever man, and he likes very well Africa, beyond Timbuktu.
He had the real spirit. His spirit.
Yeah.
Saba guides me to Ted's last residence in Timbuktu.
So this is his street here.
Living.
What's the name of this street?
Umulolo.
Umulolo. Okay. Right then, number 22. Here we go. Wow. Wow.
They haven't key. The key is lost.
Oh, the key is lost.
They open for you to see where.
One more mystery for Timbuktu. You know, the block on the door of Ted Joans. Yes, but the poems still managed to move, right? Yeah. How old do you think this house is?
This is a house have about, it is a years, circle.
Wow.
This is a house for 17th century.
Wow. Well, he found the key. Unbelievable. The mystery is solved. Could I just take a quick look?
Yes.
C'est possible?
Yes, c'est possible.
Wow. This is really something here. I'm going to take my shoes off.
Here living Ted John.
Wow.
A poem. What is it that reflects the keen anatomy of chance? Only bones, falling asleep. It's as if you're here with me in Timbuktu, Ted. All eyes closed, now and then and now.
Ah, bonjour, monsieur.
Bonne arrivée.
Merci. Arrivé à Timbuktu. Et maintenant, mon passeport. I have officially arrived in Timbuktu.
Well, my passport has been officially stamped, as I should have done 30 years ago. I've communed with the ghost and the guide of Ted Joans. My work here is done. I made it to Timbuktu. Hallelujah. And now to fulfill my promise to Karamo, the Bamako Jam Session with Vieux Toure, the endless journey of the oral tradition.
Oh.